Hello, this is a pretty unprofessional intro. I'm aware of this, and I know the podcast is looking pretty professional these days, but I forgot to do a professional intro. I just wanted to say I had James on about a year ago. A lot of people might remember the episode. Spoke a lot about anxiety and stuff and James's struggles with anxiety. Now that makes it sound as if this is going to be pretty intense. It's the least intense podcast about feelings while still speaking about some of our feelings you'll ever hear. It's actually one of my favourite episodes in a long, long time. These are the ones that I actually enjoy when I speak to people that I actually know and speak to them about things that I don't know about them. So I hope you enjoy it. If you're new here, podcast is out 7 in the morning every Tuesday. I know, and you know you fuck all else to be doing on a Tuesday morning, and this is going to become your podcast. So it's, I'll let you go. Hope you enjoy. And sorry if it's a wee bit ADHD at points, but that's not me, that's James.
Right, well, I set the scene first.
Aye, set the scene. Oh!
Are you a Celtic fan?
No.
You sounded like one.
that actually sound like that. I was fitting. So I used to like Celtic, but I used to support Celtic to be fair, and then I came away from football.
Right, but you'd still be a Celtic fan then, wouldn't you?
Aye.
Definitely.
If Rangers Celtic playing each other, it's definitely Celtic.
This is the least I've prepped a podcast in my life.
Is it?
Like, well, I've been stressed out my box.
Have you?
So remember that launch thing I'm doing? So this will be this will be out like 2 or 3 weeks after.
Right.
But you're meant to. So I've been learning loads about email marketing, right? So my mate helps me, and I done what I usually do with things. Like,
leave it till the last minute.
No, just fuck it all up.
Do you?
Well, with dates.
Don't seem like that kind of guy.
With dates and all that, yeah, definitely. I don't mean date. I don't mean date.
Aye,
dates.
like
I mean like
deadlines.
Formal
Deadlines.
29th or whatever. So
Aye.
you're meant to do like send out an email in the morning. So it finishes today, right? And everyone's like, you'll get the last few people at the very end because people will like come in at the very end.
Aye.
So my mate was like, right, so this morning send out an email saying it finishes tonight. I'm like, I'll have this is probably good information for anyone doing email stuff.
In it.
Yeah, pretty much. And this is the stuff I need to get better at. And so it's like send one out in the morning, then send one out saying 4 hours left, send one out saying 1 hour left, and then send one out saying 15 minutes left for this offer, right?
Aye.
So I started writing the emails and scheduling them to come out at that time. And then I wrote
them up.
I wrote the one that was like, right, it finishes tonight. Then I started writing the one that was like, there's an hour left. Wrote that and I sent it.
Oh, so you're not doing it?
No,
so you couldn't take it back though?
Well, no, I've basically just told them that I've fucked
it up.
Yeah.
By the way, see, going off last email, don't even listen to me.
By the way, there's not an hour left. There's 9 left.
Right.
Pretty
and
much.
then they're like, well, what the fuck's this guy up to?
But I'm pretty sure I just threw away money doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, 100% just threw away like $1,000 or something. Like,
you learned a lesson.
That,
I don't even know how to
daft.
do any of that, mate. That's like on my to-do list this year, emails and all that.
Is that going yellow?
That's fucking aye.
Yellow.
No, we went gold. We went orange.
Finian.
See, the thing is, see me and Dale, sometimes you just come in here and just like
I can't see after doing that.
see, you're not prepared. Sometimes you just come in and talk shit.
Oh, that's what I want to do.
Aye.
I prefer those podcasts anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't listen to any of these interview ones. If anyone's listening on the audio, by the way, we've got colours in the background now and a few.
Yeah,
you
they
probably
are. Rangers colours. Oh, is it? Oh, sorry, Celtic colours.
I do actually have some stuff I want to ask you though.
Right, no, I'm into that. I'm up for that.
I've been questioning Dale as well. I'm like, what's good to ask him about? Because obviously he spent 80 odd hours in this room, you and beyond.
A long time, mate.
but
Dale's probably the closest person to me, you know. I would say.
Do you think?
Aye.
He became like your best mate.
He's seen my darkest moments in the last year. Oh, 100%, mate.
I seen a sprinkle of the tail end, or like you coming out of it.
You just seen but it was like rough, mate. Rough as fuck.
Because that's what I wanted to ask you about. So see, that was a year ago that you and Dale came on the podcast. So I think some people will remember it.
Aye.
Because I've not really grew my podcast since then. It was growing like fuck, but then I went to Australia, so the clips and all that damn shit. So like the audience I have is the same audience. See, when you were talking about the Linden method and all that was like that got 1,000 views on YouTube and the clips and all that went wild. Do you think that actually helped you a lot? Or do you think it gave you any tools afterwards? And explain it again, just because people won't remember.
So absolutely, it still helps me to this day. Like, it's changed my life completely. So basically, what it is it's it's not looking at your anxiety as in going back to the past and what caused it. It's basically saying a lot of the things that we classify as anxiety is just other things in our life, like fear, stress. But from whatever trauma you've got, it comes out as anxiety.
Right.
But you feel it as anxiety, and in you, it is anxiety. But you need to learn what it actually is. And to do that, you basically set up your full life. So from the moment you wake up, you have a plan. You have a plan exactly what you're doing through that day. So you can't be anxious if you're doing something, right? If you've got a plan. So basically, if you know you're going to be doing this and you know you're going to put effort in it, it's hard to be anxious because that's all you're thinking about. And the hard bit is being consistent with that.
Yeah.
But in time, after a couple of weeks, you do actually stop being anxious about the things.
Right.
About the things you used to be anxious about. And then you're anxious because you're not anxious. That's the thing that I found. So they basically tell you how to set up your life. And then you go on and like it's like PTing. It's like people come to you with similar problems. You get them on a structure with nutrition and they come to you and they go, I feel like this. And I go, good. That's how so-and-so came to me. And like everybody goes, so you go to them and go, I'm feeling anxious about no feeling anxious. But then obviously went through all that and felt so much better and was on the grind becoming a personal trainer.
What was the mistake you made?
The mistake I made was getting into a relationship with the wrong person.
Right.
100%.
And this was on the verge of happening when you came on.
It was.
It just started, didn't it?
It was just brewing. It was brewing.
Are you alright talking about any of this?
I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it because I actually...
I love the gossip. I love it.
I do love the gossip, but it's been... I've processed it on. And
how long's it been?
I'd say it's only been 3 months, but I'm a kind of person where I've no drank in like 4 or 5 months. So, and I didn't really train that hard over the last 3 months, like properly.
Yeah.
I didn't really work that much. I spent a lot of time on my own. I spent a lot of time talking to friends about it, talking to family, getting a lot closer relationships. I didn't really have the money to go to therapy, you know, but I will. Even though I'm feeling better, I will 100% go.
So yeah, walk us through what happened.
So
you don't need to go into like just
no. So basically, started speaking to somebody, and you get on. But at that point in time, should have been a grind time. You know what I mean? I've just started a new business. I was putting all my effort into that. And then when you get in a relationship with somebody, like I'm not blaming this person, by the way. Like this is all 100% my responsibility. What happened? So I'm grinding. I'm doing well at my business. Go on the podcast. I'm doing super well.
That's not an achievement, by the way.
Absolutely is.
Dale said this. He was like, "I'm so honoured to be in the podcast." My mate, fucking.
No. I'm still on this day because that started my journey, and even though all that happened, got a podcast. I've got my vision for PTing is so different from what it could have been. If I went into a gym, didn't meet Dale, and then didn't come on your podcast and didn't start a podcast, the way I would be training people would probably be different. The way I would be trying to get people's mindset would probably be different. It'd probably be like, look like this. And I know for a fact it would have probably been like that. I would have probably merged to how I'm already now, but it would have been a lot slower.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Meeting like you, Dale, and that kind of PT is there's no actually that many PTs.
I don't think there's much at all, is it? I think I look at things way differently to people, but I don't know if that's to do with your background as well, because of being fat and stuff. I don't know. I don't.
Well, obviously, I came from a different background for you, but I came from really skinny, and I don't really know why we are like that, but we are definitely different, and we definitely have a lot more empathy than a lot of other people. For people, doesn't matter whether they're skinny, whether they're overweight. We definitely have a.
Well, me, you, and Dale spoke about this. All have mummy issues.
We do all have mummy issues. We do all have mummy issues.
Maybe that's why.
And that is something that I definitely have got a lot better with, and that's something that I definitely need to go to therapy for.
Well, the one that'll come out before this was me just talking about therapy. I nearly cried in it twice.
Did you?
Actually, I came out and Dale was like, "That, you alright?" And I was like, "Man, I think I just fucking nearly cried on camera." But like, I'd done that thing where like I'll happily cry, even in front. I would happily cry in front of you, anyone, to be honest. But I just don't want to put videos out of me crying. That's over the line.
I think you're no getting the right message.
Yeah,
you know, I think that's too much. Like, you're allowed to cry, but do you really need to post it over social media?
So I like
absolutely cry, man.
There's like a few things when I talk about
it hits the spot.
Yeah, so like there's flashbacks that I've had from when I'm a kid, and see when I go and say it, like start. I'm like, oh, fucking,
Fuck, aye.
it's brutal. So it's like that, and then I would catch it, and I would just not speak for 10 seconds and just go, here, I'm not crying on camera. And then like it comes as a wave, and then it goes away, and I'd be like, I can speak again. But I was like, if I kept speaking, I'd cry. So I was like, just to let you know, I'm about to fucking.
I'm gonna. I need to take it to another level.
I need 10 seconds, and then I'll be able to talk again. But yeah. So maybe it's the mummy issues we all have.
But I think a lot of people, like, mate, in this day and age, money issues cause mummy issues and daddy issues. Do you know what I mean? People don't leave families because they're severely unhappy with everything. A lot of it comes down to money.
You ain't got a lot of mummy issues or money issues?
Mate, honestly, my mum was skint, mate. And, like, got into wrong relationships and fucked things up. And then ended up like she never had a great job.
I think my mummy issues from my mummy come from her mummy.
Absolutely, mate.
I've got mummy issues that come from her mummy's issues.
Oh no, we do that. It always goes on to the next generation if they don't fix it.
Yeah.
And how hard it's.
So I don't think that for me, my family wasn't into do with money. We were absolutely rock bottom skint. I
think that makes a big difference, man.
Probably.
And I'm not saying it's all money issues, but I think it makes a big difference. Like, think about your money stress. Like, think about how when you've got money, you're not as stressed about things, right? So think about if you're already bad mentally, right? You've had a bad childhood, and then you grow up and you're poor. Fuck, man, that's elevated.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's how hard is it to get out that mental state if you've grew up in a terrible home in the 1960s, 1940s, whatever age your mum and that is, and then you grow up poor still? You can never get. How are you going to get out of that?
Yeah, I think you would do so. I think I said this to someone the other day. I was like, if you're from Glasgow, North Lanarkshire, South Lanarkshire, if you're within 15 miles of Glasgow and one of your parents isn't fucked up, you're so lucky.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, and how did you do it?
Absolutely.
They're all from the fucking tenements, mate. Where, like, my grandpa and all that, whatever. They're like, my grandpa, I never met him, but he was like, I would hate him. I know for a fact I would hate him. Yeah, he was a painter, and whilst he was painting, he was a fucking right up, like, proper alcoholic, and he'd be painting people's houses. And he was on the job seekers allowance at the same time.
Right.
So he'd be claiming all his cash in hand money for painting and the money on the gyro. And whilst he was painting people's houses, he would raid their drinks cupboard. And then he would come home, batter my gran.
And that was a big thing back in the day. Domestic violence was high.
My dad's mum used to get like fucking scalped about all the time, which is horrendous. And then my dad's stories are just like, see if you even ate a packet of crisps in the room, he'd be like, shut the fuck up. Like that sort of way, and you just fucking backhander you. And then my mum's side are like, I think my mum's, people that aren't from Scotland will understand this, but they're from Larkhall, right? So red flag city already.
Oh, absolutely. Some of my family are from Larkhall.
Honestly, don't give a fuck what you say. There's a 9 out of 10 chance you're a fucking reprobate if you're from Larkhall. I don't care if anyone comes from me.
It's Orange City up there.
And they all fucking they won't like the background colours of this anyway. They'd smash those lights in a second. But also, if people don't like me saying that about Larkhall, my whole mum's family, look, people will, if I said my mum's maiden name, they would know who they are. Do you know what I mean? Everyone in Larkhall knows everyone, but
they do. It's not a big town.
He used to stay near Paul McStay's. Now, I don't know if this is definitely true because I've heard it off like my mum or something. But Paul McStay played for Celtic. Do you know who he is?
Aye.
And he went to Holy Cross, which is a school I went to in Hamilton, which is a big Catholic school, obviously by the name Holy Cross. And he used to go at the pub, get absolutely blotto, come home and shout, like, sing Billy Boys, all the fucking Orange Walk songs through their letterbox at 3 a.m. That's like my mum's side of the family.
Right.
And my mum's mum just, she's abandoned all her grandkids at 8. Like, she just stopped talking to all us. And I think she tried to kick my mum out of the house when she was like 16 and just like would call her fat and all that. So my mum suffered with like anorexia and stuff, I think.
Did she?
Yeah.
So there's always been body issues.
And just from
body image issues in the family and all that.
My dad's side aren't actually as bad. I'm so glad. My dad's a fucking legend. But if you look at my mum's side and my dad's side and just put the grandparents together, you're like,
Fuck.
aye,
Fucking hell.
yeah,
I'm lucky as well. My dad's side's fantastic. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, when your mum and dad splitting up, if you haven't been through that, it's fucking horrendous. So I was like 4.
Do you remember? Actually, I don't remember it being
Don't
horrendous.
remember
I
it,
was
but
4.
that's trauma. That's a trauma response.
Not remembering.
No remembering that big event. That's a trauma response.
I can remember some. I can remember.
Yeah, but
like,
you
leaving and that.
forget a lot because it's a horrible time. And I never really see my dad that much, but I'm super close with my dad and that now, and I'm super close with my stepmom, which is great
Yeah.
because that kind of rebuilds your relationship with women. Do you know what I mean? Because when you grow up with a fantastic mum, man, your relationship with women does take a hit.
100%.
Like, absolutely. And I was like, if I was to sit here and deny that, then I would probably treat women like absolute shit.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's how you become misogynistic, because you look at women like you would look at the people in your life. And I've had to
Yeah.
check myself over the last few years and go, I need to no see them like that. So I've not spoke to my mum for about 3 years. I mean, I've seen her at some family events and I've slightly spoke to her, but I mean, have a solid conversation with her about anything but where we were. And that's how I've rebuilt relationships with all the women in my life.
So what was that decision like? Because that's something that
It's big.
that's what.
That's
so I,
biggest. It's biggest.
I don't
It's one
al-
of the biggest decisions you'll ever make is cutting somebody out from your family. But even if it's your mum or your dad.
yeah. So I don't like. I've spoke about my mum loads, right? But I always have that fear that somebody will show her it and it would kill her.
It would
But-
kill my mum. Kill her.
Because I know she feels bad about it, but at the same time, I'm like, it still happened, and you're still the same person, and you're still capable of doing all the same shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
No,
she's-
absolutely. It's. I think when you get to a certain age, it's a struggle for them to change. They've been through some of the worst times to live in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back in the 1960s, 70s, and
Nah, but I always look at it like my dad was a fucking legend at full time, and he done.
yeah,
He done. So even though my dad was like, I was scared of him, but my mum also made me scared of him
Oh,
when they
the
broke up.
Same.
Manipulated the life out of me, told me he was the big bad
Same.
bastard, all of that shit. So I was scared of him till I was 7 or 8. Also, he is a fucking intimidating
Is he?
bastard.
Is
He's
he a big boy?
He's like,
I've not seen him.
he's 6 foot, so he's not like outrageously tall, but he was always like a bit heavier,
Aye.
and I've seen him like when people fuck him about, and it's quite terrifying.
Is he?
Yeah, like when I was like 16 and all that, my football coach like told me he was going to bounce my head against the walls in the changing rooms, and it was my team was mostly people from school, and I came out fucking shiting myself. My dad was like, "What happened?" And I told him, and he just stopped the car, got out. Apparently, he went in and fucking like had him up against the wall, and the full team was
She's
watching.
a wee bit of cookie boo, mate.
I just don't fuck him over, or do
I
it,
don't plan on it anyway.
or don't do anything with money, because there's a few stories about him getting fucked over with money, and it's not.
Fucking kills him.
Oh, you've not killed him.
Aye.
Fucking
I just right. I didn't mean that.
my dad has not killed anyone.
Good. Thank God.
But yeah, but he was also the full time. He done everything that he could for. So everything that he done in his life after I was born was for me.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So even like he would shout at me sometimes, and I would shake myself if I was being like, see when I was 4, mate, I got a stamp in a magazine, and I stamped all of my bedroom white walls,
Yeah.
but just with a stamp all the way around the walls. And my dad came in, and he was just like,
What
are you doing?
You know, it's like, what are you doing? I love you, but what the fuck are you doing?
And I remember seeing that, and he just was like, his face just went,
Aye.
and so I was scared of him from that. I also, like, the week later, I had like a mini like car thing that was electric, and I spray painted it all. Then I spray painted my dad's taxi, and also at the same time, I got.
You just a menace?
I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know.
Mummy issues straight away.
Maybe
I was a wee bit cookie boo, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I broke the key for
I
the
used to always break
garage,
Kings.
and my dad couldn't get in to get his taxi going to shift, and I'd spray painted his car.
So he got in, he was like,
Yeah.
fuck you cunt.
So he lost it
You're
at
a
that. as well.
cunt.
Aye,
Aye.
he absolutely lost it at that. So I was like, oh, he's quite scary when he's angry. All so
Aye,
I
aye.
stopped doing stuff like that.
Thank God. But no, like if you, I know you're talking about when you say if your mom seen this, it would break her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My mum would be the exact same. But
Every time I'm talking about it, I'm like, this, maybe shouldn't put this out, but at the same time, I'm like, probably help more people when I'm at the point where I'm like,
I think a lot of people are in family situations where they think because it's family, they can treat them that way and they have to stay in it.
yeah,
And I see it all the time. And I obviously try and keep my business, myself. But when I see it, I go, I wish you could understand that. Look, you don't need to deal with it from that particular person just because that person's brought you up. However they treat you. Like, I'll no name names, but I know somebody very well, and they don't speak to their own mum either. And I spent a bit of my life with them, and they don't speak to their mum. They still don't speak to their mum, and their life's better than it ever has been, and
Yeah.
my life's better than it ever has been. And it's no mum or dad; it could be anybody. However somebody treats you is how you should treat them back, but it's how you should respond to where they are in
the
your life.
actions.
Yeah,
So not even the words. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, whatever,
It's the
but
actions.
that doesn't mean anything.
that's so. I had bad trust issues because of that.
Same.
Terrible trust.
Same
And
shit.
I still don't believe a lot of things people say to me when they're close to me. Like, if somebody was to come into my gym and go, like, you're really good at this, I would believe them. But if somebody close to me was go, you're really good at this, I would probably go, I'm not really too sure if I believe them. And I'm like, I know what it comes to.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I change that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because it's never good to not believe the people who are closest to you.
Yeah. Well, that comes from, like, mine's was like sheer gaslighting and stuff. Do you know?
Oh,
what I mean?
aye. We've all been through that.
Aye. Well, my thing with the one where I was doing where it was solo, my thing was saying it all was like, I wanted to, because I think there's a stigma where, like, girls will say, I don't date boys with mummy issues or whatever. That's fine, right? Honestly, if you want to tarnish everyone that's not got a good relationship with their mum, that's fine, because you'll actually probably be quite bang on the money with 90% of them.
You're right.
But at the same time, what I wanted to do is, like, there's a stigma that anyone that, because a few people will turn their nose up at you not speaking to your mum, won't know anything to do with it, and they'll be like, but it's your mum. And I'm like, but you didn't have our childhood.
A lot of people have said that to me, like, who know, because basically most of my clients know, because they're like, where's your mum? And I'll tell them I don't speak to her, and they're like, how come? And I'll just be like, I'll tell them a couple of stories and be like, oh no, I get that, but it's still your mum. But I'm like, but they always say the one thing, they always go, I still understand that I wasn't there. So they're always like, they actually listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm quite an open person, and I take all these people in for PT, and you take all these people in for PT, and you probably took some absolute crackpots, and you've still trained them, and they're like, no, you're used to working with a lot of different people, and if you can't work with that person who's meant to be in your life, they kind of understand it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, this person must have done something to really upset that person.
It was more when I was younger. I used to find it difficult because I used to openly tell people, like, I don't like her.
Yeah, I used to do the same. And that's never a nice thing for them to hear. But
I used to be like, I don't like her, and I'd be like, oh, what? Like, and I was like, she's a fucking arsehole to me all the time.
Mhm.
And then I'd get well annoyed because people would be like, oh, you need to treat your mum better. I'm like, she treats me terribly.
yeah, yeah.
And or like, they'd be like, oh, but I've met your mum, she's nice. And I was like, you don't live in the house.
Yeah.
You don't live in the house and see what she's actually like day to day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But anyway, that's enough for our mummy issues, man.
That's fine. That's fine.
Right,
so I'll go into like my story and how, like,
see, after you do it, Dale said there's some stuff about your public gym, like experiences of stuff that's been going on. It's alright,
I know,
like, come back to that.
I know. So, like, but first thing, take responsibility for everything. Like, this is no that person's problem. This is my problem.
Right.
So when I was starting, I was smashing it, doing really well. And
Can you tell people how you met her?
I could tell she was my client.
Okay.
She was my
I
client.
just wanted you to say that.
No, because everybody knows. Like,
Yeah.
I went with one of my clients, and I've only went with one of my clients, and everybody thinks that I'll go with all my clients, and I've made the decision to never do that again. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've absolutely made that decision. But it's not even for that. It's like, see, when I went into it, mate, I was like, I'd been grafting so hard, and I'd been doing so well, and I'd got a job that I wanted, and I got in
You
a
go on
place.
lots of dates.
I'd go to a place that I wanted, and at that moment in time, I was not looking for fuck all. Do you know what I mean? And then I was like, this is great. I am a young guy in a gym getting this attention. Bang, I can do what I want. That was probably my thought at the time.
Really?
Wasn't it like going? That wasn't my conscious thought. But I think probably, like, that was at the back of my mind. I was like, I can kind of do what I want. And then we went out, and we weren't good for each other, terrible for each other. But at that time, I think everything that I'd been through, right, the last person I didn't treat well at the end. So I was like, I'm going to try and fix that, because I fixed the relationships where, like, so over this time as well, I was actually fixing relationships with my dad and my stepmom. They weren't bad, but I wasn't severely close, and my sister. So the woman in my life. So let's see what we're speaking about.
Yeah.
I'm quite open about, like, I wanted to make an effort to get closer to the rest of the women in my life and make sure that I had a strong bond with them, so that it wasn't like I didn't pinpoint every woman as that person. So I was like, I'm going to try and make this work. But then my business went down and down and down.
Is that when you moved in here?
Just before that, to be honest.
So it was. So you were working at, just so everyone knows, you were working in a gym.
I was working in a gym from June to December, and this all started in probably December, started to the decline. You know what I mean? I wasn't focused on my clients as much. I was skipping meals when I could have been doing content, when I could have been messaging people, when I could have been replying to messages. And I was just trying to make something work that was never ever going to work. And I put my all into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was more to do with the fear of, I've done bad before. I've not had good relationships with women before. I'm like, this is probably me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went down a right slippery slope. And I became a person that I really did not like.
Right.
But I was like, how the fuck did I didn't know how to get this.
What's going on in your head the full time? So I've not, see what I was speaking about, like my first breakup was horrendous, and I've just never really went back into that.
What was going on through my head, mate? I was
like, as in, what were the actual thoughts? Because I got stuck in thought loop patterns after my first breakup, and I think it just scarred me that much. I've never really threw myself into something again.
I was like, why is this person treating me this way?
Right.
That's what my thought was. And I'm like, no, it can get better. Do you get me?
Right.
And it wasn't they were treating me absolutely terribly, but they weren't
Were
there.
you people pleasing then?
Absolutely people pleasing. I was like trying
Because that's usually what it comes out as, more than like,
absolutely.
I think with mummy issues, it doesn't become this big ego. I think people can go sleep around and all that, but
Aye.
I think that insecurity of when you actually settle
You don't
down
wanna
is still
lose that-
there.
You've lost one of the biggest women in your life. You don't want to lose another one.
Yeah.
When it really, there's plenty of fish in the sea, and there's somebody who's right for you at whatever period.
And you end up somehow not being comfortable, but you end up like getting in the same sort of like relationship that you had with your mum.
Aye.
And people think that's weird, but that's what happens.
No, that is what happens.
It's because it's what you're used to.
And you kind of go for somebody like your mum.
Yeah.
Like whatever your house was when you grew up, you kind of crave that.
Yeah.
And that's what
Madness.
that's what I need to work on. So I'm quite a fucking hyper person, right? So the person I'm with,
James has ADHD.
I have ADHD. It's quite obvious.
I know that's a trend, but
No,
I know it's a trend. I know it's a trend, and like I get accused. Well, not accused.
Yeah,
He's got it.
he's got, what the fuck? Why have you got that?
Lock him up.
Yeah,
He's got that. But people were saying that I've got it, and like none of these people have met me, and I definitely don't have it. And if I do, I've got a tiny bit, and I'm fine. Right, well, I can't concentrate sometimes. Neither can any.
Mate. That's life.
Nobody can concentrate every fucking second of the day.
Aye.
But you,
Mate.
we were talking about having ADHD, and this guy's like got a resistance band wrapped it all around his arm, and then he's like pulling it, and he's going like that. Aye, man, I don't know. I think I maybe got ADHD. Like, I think you do, mate. And then,
So
and then you were pulling it up like this and coming underneath it like that. And going like, aye, maybe I did. I don't know.
So I would never like to diagnose myself, but so everything that I went through,
Even just watching you. Like,
oh, I know that, mate. I never stopped moving, but everything that I learned, I was meant to get in that relationship to learn one thing, and or a few things. Absolutely, that's what I genuinely think. Because me and Dale spoke about it, and he was like, whoever you met, no matter who they were, you were probably going to go through something like this at one point because you hadn't dealt with a couple of things.
Yeah.
So I always thought that my anxiety was anxiety, but now I realise it was probably just hyperactivity and not doing the things that I enjoy. So when you people please, you're not doing the things that you enjoy, so you're so overstimulated that it actually fries your nut and you become anxious. You become slightly paranoid. You're like, what's this person up to? and they were
Yeah.
like, what are you up to? And
Yeah.
that was like, that's how our dynamic was. It was like, they were part of it, I was doing something, I was part of the other doing something. And I was like, this is just so unhealthy.
Yeah.
And my emotional dysregulation, which is something that is big in ADHD that I'd never thought about before. So it's like you don't know how you're feeling and it can change quickly. It feels like bipolar, but like when you're in a uncomfortable situation, you're fine. But
Yeah, it's not bipolar.
when you don't know how to deal with something, emotional dysregulation is so
Do you want to
high.
try that word again?
So when I
Emotional dysregulation.
when I
Defibrillator.
so when I came out of that relationship, I was like, there's something no right with me.
Yeah.
That's something a little bit different. And I was like, because I was feeling so good before we went serious, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, is it commitment issues? But over that time, I get such better relationships with everybody else in my life, and I was like, my relationships are getting so much stronger with my friends, family, everybody. I was like, what the fuck is it? And I was like, and then like something came up on my TikTok about ADHD. I was like, that's me.
I don't think those are correlated, being honest. I think you've got very similar issues to me.
Aye.
And I
I
think
don't
I
know.
think that stems, well, for me, it stems from trauma. I don't have ADHD.
Aye.
And like what you're describing, I think mine was less severe, and I explained it as like that first girl I went out with, it wasn't it. Like she was maybe doing stuff as well that was stressing me out, because naturally you attract someone you end up going out with someone that's going to give you triggers as well as you give yourself triggers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's not just her, it's like me as well.
Aye,
But
absolutely.
I don't think I could have been anyone, if you know what I mean.
Could have been anyone. That's what I was saying. That's what me and Dale said.
For me, the first one, and that's what I learned so much from it, because I'll like run a mile if I'd see any of those trends again. But it wasn't because she was a bad person. It was also someone else would have dealt with what she was doing 5 times better than me.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't have put up with it.
Aye, they just went, I'm off. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
because
not dealing with your
it's
shit.
that long ago that I can't even remember. It wasn't. She never done it like that evil. But there'd been a few things that someone normal would have just went, don't like, nah, stay
Aye.
away. Whereas we've got the people pleasing tendencies. I'd have let the first one slide, then another one slide,
That's what I did.
and they weren't that bad.
Aye.
Whereas like anyone else I've been out with when I broke up with them, it's also been something way worse. And I've been like, nope, done.
Aye, we're fucked.
But for me, it was like, it was just like cause of imagine like what happened in my childhood. I had a big fucking like scar that was open, and anyone I get in a relationship with, that would have just like, I wasn't secure because of that.
Aye, absolutely.
Unless I met the most securest person possible, which you're not going to when you've went through a bad childhood.
It's hard. Very, very difficult.
I think some people do.
I think it's very, very difficult to connect with somebody who has had a don't I fuck this up, these words, but had a more secure life. It's always hard to connect with them unless you've secured yourself first.
Well, because
you know what I mean, though?
But we also like, we'll probably go in relationships where it's like fireworks straight away.
Aye.
Because we think that's
what it should be.
what we need.
Like a high energy.
Yeah. When you mistake chemistry for you're both fucked up.
Yeah. That's
and I honestly, I wouldn't describe myself as fucked up, and I've done way
that's
more.
What my last one was, and I look back on it, I go, we only got on so well because we had such thing with past that we could fully connect with.
Yeah.
I could understand her, she could understand me, but that's not true. That's not real. That's just you understand them, they understand you.
It's like it's
no
actually
one
like
no one fully understands you like them, but that's not real because there's so much more to a relationship than just understanding a person's past.
It's like you both create this fantasy that isn't real, into it.
Aye.
Both of you.
And then it crumbles.
Yeah.
It crumbles fast.
Because it's not real. Yous have created
it's absolutely not real. But like you're saying, like if you go back and if I look at that relationship, right, once I was feeling a bit better, I can look back and I go, like you're saying, if you look at the relationship with your parents and you put up with so much and then I finally cut it off, but it took so much small things, but it was so consistent.
When you stopped talking to your mum.
Aye. But then I done the same in my past relationship. So many things. But now if I go forward, I go, I'm not putting up with that, by the way. And if you got to keep doing that, it's done. But if you can change, but you never get in a relationship to change somebody. And I think I don't know if you feel like this, but I definitely feel like I get in a relationship and I go, hope they change. But they're not gonna.
I haven't got into a serious relationship now
Since?
for 3 years.
Have you
No,
know?
so I got into one that was 6 months long when I was in Australia before I started this. So we broke up a month after me doing this, and I knew that wasn't gonna last. It was 6 months long,
Yep.
but it started during lockdown,
Aye.
and we were working together and stuff. And I was like, the full time I was like this. So I was actually, I'd already kind of processed it in my head.
You knew
That
this.
was the most toxic one, but the one that I got least affected by. But that one was fucking. I'm not gonna tell stories from that. It was fucking. Just wasn't a good time. Well, it's
See, my last one, it was not a good time. But she'll say the same thing, mate.
Yeah.
She'll be like, that cunt's crazy. And I'll be like, that cunt's crazy. But really, we just need to look at it and go, we were so badly matched that we should have just ended it so much sooner.
Well, I had to talk about that one in therapy because Paul,
You
who's
have
my
to, mate.
therapist, he was just like that. See if you knew it was going to be fucked from the start, why'd you get in it? I was like, that's a good question.
That was the same. I could look back at the first couple of months and go, why the fuck did we stay
I
with
was
each
like,
other?
Can I get back to you on that one?
I was like, I'll need to go and do homework, write essays, because I don't fucking know.
Need a bit of research for that.
It's so weird though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why do you put yourself in situations where you know it's not
But
going to work?
again, see, I hadn't processed everything from the first one,
Right.
which is the main thing. As in, like, the first one is really, because that's what he said to me the full time. He was like, all we're doing when we look at your relationships is looking for trends from your childhood, because some people might get in a fucked up relationship that were actually secure. It's less likely,
Yeah.
and then their trauma is all from the relationship. He's like, your trauma is like, it's nothing to do with their relationships. It's just based off the trends from your childhood ones.
Aye.
Because some people do get, or they might get something horrific happen to them, and that is their trauma, like a freak accident.
Aye,
Or
a one-time thing.
their man dies or their girlfriend
That is
dies.
massive.
It's whereas mine's is just
Consistency.
from my childhood. So yeah, I've never really dove into a relationship that I've took seriously since.
No.
But I'm open to. That's why I've been doing it.
Aye,
That's
yeah.
why at the start of the year I was like, I'm 28 now, but I was 27. I was like, I do want kids when I'm older, and I'm like, I've been working on myself the full time. I've read like so many relationship books. Like I've read all the anxious and avoidant attached things. I've seen all the trends in myself, and I'm like, right, I know all of this, and I know what I have that I need to fix. And I was
Yeah.
like, but I don't know how to fix it, so that's why I done it.
I don't care who you are. Like, I don't care how good you think your life is. I don't care how much you're smashing it. If you've never sat down with somebody who's professional, who knows how to get information at you, then you should go. Because whatever they can get at you is going to help whatever it is. Because you could be working super, super hard, making loads of money, but really you've got nothing substantial in your life. Like, you could be with someone who is just so materialistic that you don't actually like them, you just like the look at them.
Yeah.
And you could find that out and go, what am I doing? You don't want to find that out 10 years down the line. And I'm not saying anybody, I don't actually know anybody in particular, but there's so many things that you think you're doing well, but it's actually so hollow.
I'm getting more and more like fucking. See, when I'm like ever even just speaking in the early stages of speaking to someone,
Aye.
I'm more and more just like, I'm not even dealing with this, but like, see someone who wants to text 24/7. No, I'm not doing it. And
I've got
see,
PTSD.
see if someone
from
moans
talking
about
every day.
that, I'm like, get fucked. I'm not texting you
No.
24/7. And see if someone wants to text 24/7, that's when that's
Red flag.
mistakes I've made in the past, and
I've
I'm
done
like,
the same.
these are trends that I've got myself in before. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah. Yeah,
If you need to hear from me 24/7, there's a problem.
yeah, problem. I think you need if you sat down and go, what do I actually want from a person, and I think you need to think about how much do they want to talk and how much effort am I willing to put into somebody, especially at the start, because people think you should put a lot of effort into the start.
I think you should. Well, this is what I've been drilled into me from therapy is it's not about putting like get to know someone slowly
Aye,
rather than like
exactly. I think 100%.
rather than fucking throw the kitchen sink at someone you don't know.
I think you should message every couple of days, and even then it's a couple of messages, and
And
then
only judge it off of what happens when you meet each other.
absolutely. And that's the mistake that I made. I was like, message every day, FaceTime every day. I don't even like that. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't even enjoy that. I don't enjoy talking to one person every day. Like, and I will never. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, if we're in person, absolutely. Like, I could see somebody every day, but texting, phoning, FaceTiming, that's not for me. And that's one thing I realised.
See, if you text me good morning, I am out.
I'm out. So I hadn't done that in years, and then we started doing it. And then it stopped, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I didn't even want this in the first place. And now I want it. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with me? And I'm like, what the fuck do you need to say good morning to somebody? And I'm like, see, when I look back, I go, well, I was a fucking crazy bastard. Like, choking for a good morning text. Where the fuck is my good morning text? And see, when I sit now, I'm going, I don't even want a good morning text. Somebody sends me a good morning text now, I'm like, good night. You know what I mean? Blocked.
James loses the plot sometimes, and you've just witnessed it.
I always lose the plot, mate. But like, nah, I don't know. That you need to build up to good morning text, man.
No, get them to fuck. The full time. Build away from them.
Absolutely.
Get them to fuck.
Absolutely.
That's my biggest fear. So I get the fear if someone sends me that.
Because
I know that leads to you want constant texting.
Constant.
I love how we speak about this as if we don't have any idea.
We are. It's Dale that's married, isn't it? It's no us. Forgot with that. I forgot we are fucked.
How has he managed that?
Mate, he's got a good woman, mate.
Fair.
So that was another thing. See, when I met
Dale's been on the podcast enough for
Yeah.
people to know who he is, but he's been going out with Gillian for what, 10 years or something?
10 years, mate. When I met Dale and I seen Dale and Gillian, and obviously me and Dale connected, I was like, that's what helped my relationship with women as well. Because I'm like, there's good women out there who will support you on your journey. And even although you go through dark times and that together, and even although you've got issues, because we've all got our own issues, like you can build an absolute future with somebody. And there was a time when I was like, I don't even know if I can do that with somebody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, I actually don't know if there's MD out there who's willing to put up with me, because I am a wee bit mental. And I don't think even if I go to therapy and fix a lot of the things, I am hyper, and I will always be, because that's the way I enjoy life. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no
But do you think hyper and mental are the same thing?
I think it comes across as mental, but no, it's not. Mental and hyper.
You do have your moments.
Oh, I have my
moments.
moments.
Been about 4 in this
mate,
podcast
like,
already.
Mate, you've not even seen my moments, mate. My moments are like, I'll be like, I'm on the ball. Who's that? That'll take me right off the ball.
What, a woman you talking about?
Aye, man. Aye, all the time. And then I need to reel myself back in and go, I need to go on that grind. Know what I mean?
Grindr?
Aye, you're right. I know people on Grindr, mate. Guys are mental, mate.
Oh, I've had to block about 10 gay guys in my DMs.
They're mental. So I had a guy message me for.
That's not homophobic, by the way. They were
they
were telling me they
like,
can see my fucking.
Aye, dick.
Aye.
They're choking.
They're like, I can see your fucking, what do you call it?
Your bulge.
Aye, bulge.
Your
I'm
bulge.
like, get the fuck. And then they send me selfies of themselves.
No,
and I'm like,
it's not homophobic. You're just no into men talking about your dick. Like, that's totally alright. You know what I mean? Like, but aye, my best mate's gay, so
Right.
He shows me all the Grindr messages, and mate, they're crazy.
they just go for it, don't they?
They're in there. They're like.
See, I think
fucking,
men
wanna-
just go for it in general, but
do.
most like
we need to hold it back.
aye, because women aren't.
Aye. But
up
that's
for that.
that's a good thing, because they hold us back, because we just be fucking doing whatever you want. But you don't really want that either. You want somebody who fucking brings you down, if you're a wee mental. Do you know what I mean?
Right. What happened in the gym? Because Dale said you've got a mental story, and I've not asked him what it is. He's not even told me.
A few mental stories.
Something about OnlyFans, is it?
Oh, fuck you, like this one. So it's actually nothing to do with me, to be fair. So this is good. So somebody broke into the office. So obviously, if for anybody who doesn't know me, I work in a big JD, big new fancy JD, but it's 24 hours, and the office is shut. But some
JD's a gym, by the way.
aye, JD's no the shop, I don't sell shoes. I sell fitness, right? But
I've been fucking grasping the straw for some fucking guess.
aye.
Just in the JD.
Have you been up there yet?
No.
No?
No.
I know.
I'll come.
It's good.
Come tomorrow.
So somebody was breaking into the office, right? So they were checking back the cameras
That's
at
Coatbridge.
4:30 in the morning. Oh, mate, rough as fuck. But somebody was breaking into the office, a wee guy, mate. But so they were watching the cameras back because the lights kept coming on, but it was actually just the lights fucked. And this woman walks in with our husband and walks up to the mirror and just gets her tits out in the middle of the gym and starts taking pictures of her tits. And then the guys at the other side, so you need to swap cameras, he's standing watching her with his dick in his horn, but he's not out. It's like he's put his horns in his trousers and he's having a tam shank as she's got her tits out in the middle of the full gym.
Wait, but the guys broke into the office?
No, so that's how they were checking the cameras. So they were looking back at the cameras going, why are the lights on? Then at this exact moment they're watching the cameras, this woman's got her tits out.
Does she know the guys having a wank?
That's her husband.
Are they the only two people in the gym?
They're the only two people in the
What
gym.
time of night is this?
4:30 in the morning.
They're in there, one's got her tits out and the other guy's wanking.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That is, how insane is that? I was like, no way. I was like, you're talking shite. They're like, we'll need to get somebody to show you the cameras. I was like, I don't actually believe you. There's no chance that some woman's got her tits out and taking pictures, but absolutely true. And see, when you work in a gym, like you work in a gym, you hear some fucking mad stories. You're like,
Like people doing big shites up the wall and all that.
hey, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with men? They piss out of the flare. They shite on the toilet seat. They shite down the side of the toilet. I'm like, how have you physically done a shite beside the toilet? You've actually stood up, moved there, shat, went back on and went, you know what?
Well, I appear to have missed the pan.
Oh no. You know what? Fuck the country work in here. Fuck him. Fucking pricks, ain't they?
That's mad. That's actually mental. And they're going to chase them up around.
Nah.
Just leave it.
Just leave it, mate. Because it did hurt him, they.
It's weird, mate.
Oh no, I don't deny that. It's fucking weird as fuck, mate.
That's enough to get you banned, I reckon.
No, I know. Mate, there's things happening.
I know nobody's in there, but you
There's
can't be
things
having a wank in the gym. Where did he finish? Did he finish on the fucking dumbbells?
Don't know. They walk.
That is absolutely a banning offence if he's spunked on dumbbells.
Think about it, right? So she's obviously got OnlyFans. So there's one of her OnlyFans with big JD gym in the background, and everybody sees this JD and go, "Where the fuck's that gym?"
Oh, and it gets members, so they don't care because they're
mate,
making money. They're all the same. These corporate bastards.
Mate, they don't give a fuck, man. Mate, there's some people who should be banned for some other things, like see, like people who day shit in the flare. How do they fucking? That's just
What
weird.
else has happened? Was anything else happened?
Anything else happened? There's a couple of things happened to me, like people thought I was shagging their missus and that.
What? And you weren't?
No. Mate, a guy messaged me, right? I've been working on this gym for about 3 weeks, and he messaged me, and he was like, "Alright, mate, can I give you a wee call?" And I'm like, "Aye, man, PT client, I'm just in here, yes." Another one, boom, making money. I am the best.
Too easy.
I am the best, man. Look at this. Guy wants to phone me. Phones me 7 at night. By the time he actually phones me on Saturday night, he's like, "It's happening, mate." I'm like, "It's happening." He's like, "You shagging my missus?" And I'm sat like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" I'm like, "Who's your missus?" And he said the name, and I was like, "I have no idea who your missus is, mate." And he was like, he's like, "Do you work in the gym?" I'm like, "Aye." I'm like, "How?" I was like, "How did you get my name, mate?" I'm like, I'm definitely no. I'm like, "But how has my name been brought up for your missus that I am shagging her?" I'm like, "I am no shagging your missus. I'm scared. I don't know who you are." I'm like, "Mate," I was like, I'm no longer in a relationship with a crazy bitch, right?
That's what we called it.
Nah, I'm kidding on. But I was like, "Mate," I was like, "She's doing you dirty. She's playing the game with you. She's got you on a string." I was
Is
like,
that what you're saying to him on the phone?
Aye. I was like, "She's got you on a string, mate. You need to patch this woman." He's like, "I know, mate, I know," but he's like, "She's definitely shagging somebody." I was like, "Well, it's no me, mate." And I was like, "I hope you find out who it is." But I said, "See, even if you don't find out who it is, like, you need to get rid of this woman because she's fucking you up."
I thought you were going to call her a bitch.
Nah,
Get
but
rid of
I
this
don't
bitch.
actually. I didn't say that.
Right. Could you go out with someone doing OnlyFans?
No chance.
Why not? I could.
Could you?
No.
Aye, no chance, mate. I couldn't. And that's like the truth. And I don't care what MD has and that. Like, most people couldn't, mate. Like, I have.
I don't believe that you can't talk about these things.
No, I know.
Like, I'm absolutely not going out with someone that does OnlyFans.
No.
And why am I not doing that? Because there is thousands of people wanking over our pictures.
Yeah.
And that's enough for me.
If you're the thing that would hurt, and you can say that's your ego and all that. I've got a fucking ego when it comes to my missus. If I'm out in public with my missus and a guy's there who pays for her OnlyFans, who wanks her OnlyFans, aye, great, you're paying her bills, but you've seen her tits and vagina. You know what I mean? Like, she's sitting there, he's sitting there, and he knows what she looks like underneath the clothes. That is for me. And I know people have been with people before, but they're not with them anymore. So they're seeing that in real time. That's not for me. What do you think?
I just don't think. I think the dynamics broke from the start,
Yeah.
and don't know why is it so fucking taboo to talk about it? Like, why is it so like, yeah, but this is like feminism. Like, is it feminism? No,
No, but that's what, like, somebody.
Is it feminism?
So we had Katie in the podcast, and she was talking about obviously body positivity, and I agreed with so many things she says. But one of the things I did say to her, I was like, "What do you think about girls doing OnlyFans? Because you were talking about men objectifying women for years." I'm like, "No, women are objectifying themselves." But she said, "Well, that's her choice." I'm like, "But it's still objectifying." She was like, "Isn't it?" I'm like, "How is it? No, you're using your body for sex, even if you're not sleeping with them person. You're using your body for sex." And for people who don't know me, I am pretty.
I used to be a prostitute.
Yeah. I used to be a gigolo, but no, I'm pretty anti-porn. Is it anti-porn? Anti-porn, like
Pro. What else could it be?
but I was like
Is
pro.
it anti-porn?
I was like pro or anti. I was like no anti. I'm anti-porn for a few reasons. I think that it destroys a man's mind for one. I think it destroys a woman's mind. I've met girls who are, like, they have had to stop it as well.
So when you say anti, you don't watch it ever?
No, don't watch it ever.
When was the last time you watched it?
So right now, about a month and a half ago, but I went like 6 months at a time without watching it. Do you know what I mean? And
I want to get away from it.
it's so.
And I'm not bad. I'm not bad for it.
It's so. I wasn't bad for it. I was just. I maybe watched it for once a week for about 3 months there, right? And even then, I
just to
think
give yourself a wee treat.
Yeah. But I was like to get through the times. But now it's about a month and a half, and none again, and that will keep going. And I was talking to somebody in the gym, and he's like, "I'm doing the same," and I was like, "What's the reason you do it?" And he's like, "I actually feel that it's so demeaning for women. You don't know what they're actually going through when they're doing that. You don't, even if they are participating and they're like, I want to do this, you don't know what they've been through to make that decision. They could have had a terrible childhood. They could have had a great childhood. They could have had a terrible childhood. But for them to get to that decision, you don't know where they've been through. You don't know if they've been pushed into that. And like, there's so much mad shit you see, and then you're treating women like that, but you also don't know how they're being treated to get there. And that was a defining moment where I went, I'm never going to watch it for mental reasons. I think that it destroys a man's discipline, drive, and it also destroys your confidence. Like, I think when you're highly watching porn, even if it's a couple of times a week, I think how you view a woman is completely different. Like, see how I
also think you subconsciously devalue yourself.
Oh, you
because you're watching a man shag a woman.
Aye, like, it's no you. You're watching somebody else do it.
That's weird.
Aye, like when you take yourself out it, it's super weird. But then, like, I'm a month and a half out it again, and I honestly view
when you say stuff.
Mate,
I've been out for a month and a half.
but
I might relapse.
You probably will. You will at one point. Like, and if you understand that, then you probably less likely to relapse. If you're like, I'm never going to do it again, well, you probably are because you're a fucking human being.
Yeah.
But you view women so differently, and you don't view them as much as objects. And I think with OnlyFans, like, whether it's your choice or no, you're objectifying yourself, and you're putting yourself in that industry, and you're also.
And I think you're not coming back from it.
No, there's
unless you do it and hardly anyone knows and you just delete it in it. But I think as soon as you go, I'm doing OnlyFans, everyone you know knows. And there's not many coming back from it.
That's your personality.
And think about it. Someone from school is going to find out for a week, and they're going to have been on that.
And then you're going to become a mum.
Yeah.
And then
I think it's scary, man.
I think
it's so scary.
Like, I can only imagine. I'm actually not trying to demean anybody that does it, but when you know how school's fucking horrible, especially boys. They see a video of your mum 10 years ago, you're getting bullied.
Yeah.
There's no fucking doubt about it. You are getting slaughtered from primary 1 to primary 7, from first year to 6th year. There is no doubt that is ever going to leave your identity.
Yeah.
If the school finds out about that. Because first years will come in, and the second years will be like, that's his fucking mum. You know what I mean? And I'm being serious. Yeah. Like, I'm not even joking, mate. There's consequences to your future.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
No.
It just scares me. It scares me that it's so accessible and all that now as well.
Yeah. I think porn in general is far, far too accessible. I started watching porn when I was like 10, 11.
LimeWire?
Mate, I can't even remember. But it was like hardcore.
I remember downloading something on LimeWire,
mate.
And just being like, what is this?
And you know for a fact, when you actually start going to have sex, your sex is fucked, mate. Like how you
Aye,
view it
'cause
is
you-
so fucked.
The first time you think you're gonna have
Yeah,
sex
yeah,
and
you're
break
gonna-
your virginity,
Yeah, you're going to be an absolute
you'll be
demon.
like, I'm gonna go into the kitchen. I'm gonna fucking
Aye.
throw off all the fucking all the cutlery everywhere.
Aye.
All the fucking.
And then you're just like, is this it? And you're like, what?
Is
the
that? Was it in?
You're like, what the fuck, man? It fucks you up.
It doesn't feel like it's in.
Are you sure? It is. I don't think it is, man.
That's what my first time was genuinely like.
Oh, man. So
I don't think my first time was my first time.
make that make sense?
Because I don't think I went in.
I don't know.
Nah, I think I just like fucking scooted a bit for a bit.
Did you? You think?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck,
I think my
man.
second time was my first time.
Yeah, probably.
Bit more sober.
Mate, see, when you do it, when you're steaming, it doesn't, like, you don't know if it's in.
There
I
might have been many a time that I was
Mate, I
never
think
in.
drunk sex and terrible. I think drunk sex in general is quite shite. See,
I'm
people are like,
not
I
a
need a
fan at all.
drink to fucking go for it. I'm like, I don't enjoy it, man.
I think, yeah, for a one night stand, I can understand why you need a drink, but it's because you're sleeping with someone you don't want to sleep with.
That's the truth.
Pretty much.
Aye.
If you're
'Cause wake
someone
up
you
and
want to
go,
sleep with,
whoa.
then sober's way better, isn't it?
Oh, way better, man.
Like, way better.
How did we go into that?
I have no idea. Maybe I do have ADHD.
Aye.
I can't really remember the last 20
No,
minutes.
but see, ADHD, there's so many things you could have, man, these days.
Aye, the symptoms are so vague.
Aye,
That was the
so
problem
vague.
with, because it was Sylvester that was a PT that he's been diagnosed with, and he was telling me that he said he was watching me and when he was like, I was on his podcast, and he was like, yeah, just the way you change topics and the way you overshare and all that. I'm like, that's such vague symptoms.
Oversharing, I'm bad for me.
You what?
I'm bad for oversharing.
So am I.
Really bad for it.
I don't think that's ADHD.
I
though.
don't think it is ADHD. I think that's just something some people are like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I share too much with people in relationships 100%.
I'm not like that in relationships.
Are you know?
Nah, I probably share too little in relationships.
Nah, well,
You don't need to know anything about me.
no, I tell them too much and then they can use that against you because they're like, well, you fucking like that, so what the fuck you. You know what I mean? Like you is that
Not really.
is that
You
your
need to slow down for a
I know,
second.
fuck that right. No, but then you tell them your insecurities and then they know what your insecurities are. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's a bad thing for people to know your insecurities, but probably know as soon as I tell them. Do you know what I mean? Like 2 dates in. By the way, don't slag
What do
my
you-
calves.
What do you want to drink? I'm fucking mental.
I'm fucking batshit crazy, by the way.
I've lost the plot.
I am
Double
fucking
vodka and
mental.
coke. I'll fucking hit this over your head in a second.
Like, see the thing is when I get chatting, man, it doesn't matter who it's with. Like, I am fucking the same person whether it's with a guy or a woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, my flirting is I don't even flirt. Like, you know what I mean?
Just James.
No, I'm just James, and then there'll be like maybe a wee comment put in there. But
Give
like,
me what are your comments. What's your go-to comment?
I don't have a go-to. See people who plan this shit. See people who plan what they're going to say,
One-liners.
what their messages are, and how they're going to get them into bed. I don't do that.
Nah.
I go, whatever happens, happens.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
What happens?
Fucking ending, mate. Sometimes you go home, sometimes you don't. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it could be the best day of your life. Sometimes it's what the fuck happened there.
If a girl is messaging James and she wants to go on a date, where are you taking her?
Right. So it depends what kind of food she likes. I would actually see no.
Right up. I like sushi.
Oh, Salt and Hamilton. We go there.
Hamilton.
Yeah, mate.
Oh,
Hamilton's alright.
that's not.
See what your Freeview Park, mate.
I
Get
went
a
to
grip.
school in
Get a-
Hamilton.
Get a grip of yourself.
I went to school in Hamilton.
Salt is good though.
What's it called? Sol.
Salt, you never heard of salt?
If I went on a date in Hamilton, I would see about 10 people I know, and that's where I
No,
can
but
go.
you take me salt, and you'd be like, bang, man. You'd be like, home time. You're back.
Is that how it usually goes?
And no, does it fuck? And your dad would be like, who's this? Doesn't matter. She's for salt.
Right, she likes Asian food. No, that's fucking give you something else. Fish.
I don't like fish,
It's a
mate.
red
I would,
flag already.
aye, that is a red flag, man. I'd be
She
like,
likes
no.
fish. She gets in the bin.
But no, I do like fish.
No, I hate it.
No, that's wrong.
There was I'm mostly scared of tuna. That's my worst one. And somebody threw
Tuna's alright too. It's the best one.
a tuna baguette across. Like, we had a place in school called the Street. There was just the middle of it, like where they had the assemblies and all that, and that's where you'd hang out. during the hangout as if I'm American. That's where you'd
Hang with the crew, man.
chillax, bro.
Aye.
And somebody threw a tuna baguette all the way across the street. Like, I'm talking like 50 yards. And obviously, big fucking Spud was standing there. Smacked me. The tuna went all down my top, all down my shirt and all that. Mate, I never even said anything. I just walked out and went home. I never even acknowledged it. I
do
just
you get
looked at it.
traumatized quite easily?
I hate fish. If tuna touched me, I would have a panic attack.
Have you ever seen the tuna
If
fish?
someone chased...
Have you ever seen the tuna fish, though? It's quite a cool looking fish.
I hate all fish.
No, but like if you actually
If
just
someone
seen
touched
a
me
fish,
with tomato sauce, I would maybe go to A&E.
you're fucking at it.
No.
What's wrong with tomato sauce?
I hate tomato sauce, barbecue sauce, brown sauce,
Right, I think
mayonnaise, coleslaw.
Right. I mean, mayonnaise is alright. Coleslaw, it's 50-50. Like, it's no great. I don't know why people really enjoy it, but it's there.
Disgusting. I can't eat like sandwiches out of shops because of
I don't know.
coleslaw.
I've said the deal, right? And I got stick for this. I say sandwiches are the most overrated shite scran there is. Right? So, I got pure stick for that. How can you not like sandwiches? It's fucking bread and something in the middle. Like, what the fuck is that? Get a fucking grip.
I would genuinely rather have like toast and butter or peanut butter instead of like an actual
No, I
sandwich.
don't like toast and peanut butter either.
No?
Mate. It's too dry. It's like Sahara man in my mouth. You know what I mean? Like, what is that about? I mean, I used to have it because I was trying to bulk up. I was like, fucking put hundreds of peanut butter.
That's how you get fat.
Aye. I used to eat hundreds of peanut butter. I still do. 100 grams a day. 600 calories worth of peanut butter every day.
What?
That's what I eat every single day.
Sorry?
100 grams of peanut butter every
What,
day.
like in a spoon?
I just munch
You're
it.
a freak. You are an actual freak. Wait, like, so a spoon? No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
600 calories.
600
Not
calories.
in a smoothie or anything.
Nope.
No, you'd spoon.
Spoon it. I am an
How
animal.
many spoonfuls?
As long as it takes, as much as it takes. I mean, I don't even know. I just munch it. I'll usually do it while I'm doing something like bang, 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 right. So I have
But you're measuring 100 grams.
So no, I have a tub and it's 340 and I eat it every 3 days. Every single time, right? So if you're bulking, Aldi's 110 peanut butter that gets you 1800 calories. Bulking hack right there, right?
Oh, that's a freak show hack.
No,
That's
no.
how to be a freak. Nothing to do with
Mate,
bulking.
I thought I turned that off. Yeah. I'm a freak, mate.
How could you have turned it off?
No, I thought I heard a noise.
You
Mate,
just
I-
went-
I've got PTSD for all this shit, mate.
I saw that.
Oh man, you've no idea. See, when we first started in here, that would turn off. That would turn off. That would. Oh, we didn't have.
Oh,
that
every
first.
time I've done a podcast, that one turns off.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, that'd be alright.
He always puts it in the wrong one.
So he sorted it now,
Oh,
mate.
it's fine.
We've had to deal with the shite.
It's fine. Right here. Unless you've got any gym stories, I think we'll call it here.
No, we can save it for another day, mate.
You've got more, have you? Or we'll have more mummy issues. We'll speak
Oh,
about
mate,
probably.
I have some more stories, but like I would need to probably get them planned and make sure I don't say anything that incriminates myself.
Right.
Because I've got some daft stories, but then I will nobody would probably talk to me ever again if I said
That's the stories about my dad. I'm like, well, I tell her, and I'm like, no.
nah,
No,
you
it's not
some stories, man, you definitely watch, man.
Anyway, where can people find you?
People
I
can
know
find-
there's plenty of local people if they might in-person coach and JD off an absolute fucking rocket.
the sexiest coach as well, so that's how it goes, right? So I'm at Raw Gym Fit on Instagram, and you can find my link will be in the bio if you want to coach with us. And that's it, man. Like, that was a right good chat.
Thank you for coming on.
What we at?
An hour. An hour will do. That'll
So,
do me lovely.
no, absolutely. That was a good chat.
Aye,
we
no, it was good.
we fucked shit up, and as you can see, like this
And
is
we can
genuine.
we can go for therapy together.
This is genuine ADHD, right? So before we finish, right? So when I said this, like my dad and that are usually like, no, you don't. You just need to you do need a bit of help, blah 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 blah. But you don't have this. Like my dad's usually like, see these people who say they've got this mental health, this mental health, this mental health. They're talking shite. Like no, he's no pure big on it, but he's like shite. Right, back in his 60s, right, and I was like, damn man, I was like, I know I've been through a lot. I've been like that. I've not been a good person in the last few months. I was like, but I've been doing a bit of research, and I was like, I think I've got ADHD. And he's like, right. I'm like, oh man, like he's no supporting me here. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, fucking listen to me. And then I sent him a few videos, and it was like obscure things like that people with ADHD are meant to do, like
Is
pure
this on TikTok though?
What?
Is this on TikTok?
It was on TikTok, but it was on. I actually researched it quite a lot, and he was like, and then he went, by the way, I done my own research. You do. And I was like, thank the Lord. See, when he said that, I was like, that has actually made me feel so much better. I can actually just go and live my life normally now.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually make a difference, though.
But the problem is, if you want to get diagnosed, you have to do a 500-word questionnaire, which is absolutely not getting done.
And it also costs £1,300 just for the diagnosis alone.
Fucking corporate bastards.
But the thing is,
these money-grabbing bastards.
no, but the thing is, though, if you don't have it, you still pay £1,300. Don't get me wrong, I've like came to the conclusion a day, but I'm like, I'm never going to take medication for it. You know what I mean? Like, I need to live. I understand I need to live quite disciplined and go to therapy. That's what I need to do. I need to build, like, I need to do what everybody else needs to do anyway.
Yeah.
But I understand that I'm a wee bit more hyper than most, and I need to control that. Like,
I think anyone that listens to this podcast can probably
yeah,
get that.
yeah.
But it's interesting. That's why I didn't want to plan it as well when you came on anyway.
I'm
'cause
fine. Like, I think one of the things that I need to do is, like, see music. I love music, but I can over listen to music way more than most people, and it can actually drain me how much I listen to music.
Right.
So I'll go, like, if I'm like driving home to see my dad and that now, sometimes I won't listen to music and I'll just need to zone out, and that's how I recuperate energy.
Right.
Whereas when I listen to pure rapid music and pure like high energy music all the time.
Your music's horrific.
Oh, it's fucking fantastic,
It's
mate.
terrible.
Would you say fantastic?
Terrible.
Fantastic, amazing. But it's like boom, 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 and
That's your music.
you need to start listening to it though.
That's awful.
How? Would you never go to a rave?
I hate raves.
You've not been. How can you say that? That's a child talking
Did
right
we
there.
not try to finish this podcast?
Aye,
You're
aye,
fucking
aye.
shouting at me about raves.
No,
They're
I know.
shite.
Right.
I went to fucking Tiesto. That was awful, by
Oh,
the
I
way.
know, when they go to it. That's
Oh
all
my
it's full of
god,
wings.
horrific. No, it's full of like he's playing like mainstream fucking. He was like remixing Miley Cyrus Flowers with like
Oh.
techno. It was awful.
I agree, Rod.
And I've been to some fucking not probably what you've been to, like Tomorrowland or something. But I would hate it, mate, because you need to be on something to be at that, and I'm not taking in. So
If you love it, you don't. Which I do.
I don't love it.
You
Because I
fucking
would
hate it.
fucking hate it. Right, we'll call it there before we start arguing about raves.
I would never argue with you, mate.
You absolutely would.
Aye, aye.
Right, in a bit. Catch you after.
a
Please
nice
stop
one.
talking.